Hey there, today I'm going to show you how to create a new post. We're in WordPress already. I'm going to go to the sidebar and look for the word posts. It will bring out a menu and you can choose add new. Also up near the top you can see an add icon, new post. Both of these will get you to the same place where you create your blog post in the back end. When you get there, you'll see three boxes, a small one for the title, medium size for the content, and below that you'll see Yoast SEO, which is how we're going to get the search engines to find what you just wrote. So now we'll start with your title, and you can use whatever you'd like. If you're following the SEO guidelines, be selective in how you use your titles. So after you've created the title, the permalink or the URL that you're always going to be able to find that blog post with is auto-populated right there. So if you want to change it, now's a good time. Once you publish, you rarely want to change the URL. So now we're working on the actual post itself. This is where the content is, the text, the images, the videos, in this box here. If you notice at the top right of this box, you'll see a visual tab and a text tab. The visual is how it looks when you publish it. The text is going to show you the HTML version of it, meaning the code portion, and I will show you that later as we add images and it gets more interesting on the text side. Above there on the left it says upload images or media, and here's our media library. So we can select which picture we want to add and then look at the title and make sure that it has some alt text. The alt text is just another place for the search engines to look at what is being photographed here, and so people can find you on Google Images. So it is an important step. Once it's in your post, if you decide you want it bigger or if you want to adjust it in any way, you can click edit and make it the full size or medium, and it changes it right there. I always like to center it so that the formatting is responsive to mobile and to desktop. Sometimes when you use the image wrap text, it looks a little weird on mobile because you may have just one word all the way down the side of an image, and so that's why I use the center alignment. For this next part, I'm going to open up another browser and open up the Sweet and Swag shop to help me with the naming the colors. So instead of typing them all out and typing out all the links to them, I'm just going to copy and paste it from another browser. So I'll use some formatting instead of going 10987. Maybe I'll use the formatting, count them 1 through 10. So now I'll head to the other browser and I'll grab the names and the links to each one. Since you can't copy and paste the product image, I'm going to go into each one specifically and grab the name of it. As I copy and paste it over, it's going to try and put it in header 1 format because that's how it is on the product page. So let me show you that as I get the image in here. Okay, so I've added the image and you saw how big the words came in. That's because on the product page they're in a header format. All you have to do is select it and click paragraph. And it actually does matter if you have too many heading 1, heading 2, or heading 3s. You want to keep them all in a descending pattern. So your title is a heading 1. If you have some subsections, put those in heading 2 and then heading 3 and put them in sequential going down. That will help the search engine know a little bit more about what your content is primarily about and the things which you're talking about in it. Okay, so I've skipped a lot, but you can see what I've done. I've just added each of the products and used the names, and then I'm going to go over and preview and see what the blog post is looking like. Over on the right, you can see I've added a featured image, which is the image here at the top. This is the preview here, And this is what the blog post looks like. However, I'm noticing that there's no links. If you were to click on the image or the product name, it would take you to the image that you've uploaded. And you want both the name and the product image to go to the specific product page that you can buy it at. So to do this, I've copied the product link URL and I click on the link icon and paste it in both places, on the title and on the image. And then I click apply. And so I'm now going to go find each one and test it, of course. So now you can click on the image right from the blog post and purchase it. So now we'll do that for each and every item that we've mentioned on the blog post. And if there's any images that, for example, the one on the bottom, we can just put that to the product category, the Moxfords, because there's a lot of colors there. So an easy way for me to see if I've done all of the images is to go in the text side, and this is what the HTML looks like that I told you about. Whenever there's a link, it starts with a little bracket and says AHREF, and then it has right here, you'll see a, and then it will say a link, a URL. And I want to make sure that each one goes to a product page instead of to a WP/content or -content. When it says WP-content, it means it's taking you to the image you uploaded. So now I see in each of the line items, that's the bracket LI, meaning the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the visual portion. I'm seeing products, but the last one, the last image of all of the shoes, it's showing going to WP-content. That means it's going to your media library and it's going to show them a big version of the picture instead of going to the product page or the product category for this picture. So I'm going to change that. I'll copy and paste the product in there so that take them to this page when they click on it. So if they're interested, they can buy it. So now we'll add a few categories, and that's just on the side. So far there's no categories defined, but you can add Moxford, maybe announcements, maybe product launch, a few that are relevant to what you're writing about. And that will help you categorize it and also help a little bit for people to find your content. Also, I can add tags, which are kind of like hashtags of a blog. So use something that would be what you would hashtag if this was a social post. So now we're using the Yoast plugin, and I'm going to use the keyword, a focus keyword, Moxford. Maybe it will become a buzzword and people will wonder what Moxfords are. So when people Google Moxford, this is telling Google this is what we're talking about here. A lot of times keywords are 2 or 3 words, but this time I'm just going to use the one. So when you Google something, there's usually a description below. And it's yet another place to tell search engines what you're specifically talking about in your content. When you're satisfied with your focus keyword and your meta description, you can look below down at the analysis, and it will have green, things that are good, orange, you need improvement, and red, need attention. So it was telling me I need to use my keyword in the first paragraph. So I'm going to add an opening statement introducing Moxford, period. So you know, and Google or whatever search engine knows exactly what we're talking about right from the beginning. Another thing that it's telling me is I haven't created enough words yet. Typically you want around 300 words so that the crawlers can use all of their little tricks to find out what it is talking about. So if I add 300 words, they will be able to know a lot more what a Moxford is. So once you're done with your content and you've saved the draft, you can head over to the calendar tab underneath posts, and you can schedule it for a day that you want it to publish. Or you can publish immediately, or set it for pending review if you want to have the editor make sure that it all looks okay. So this is what the post we just wrote looks like. It's just lacking a little bit more words, and I'll leave that up to the Sweet and Swag team to fill that in. But that is the post. One last thing I want to show you, you can see it just kind of ends with a picture. If you want a little bit more engagement, maybe get some comments on your blog, ask a question at the end, or ask a few questions, or ask someone's opinion and tell them to comment below, and you can get a little more engagement that way. I find people don't usually comment unless you bait for it or ask for it. So there's a few questions to get some engagement, and then you can hit schedule or publish, which is on the right, the green button. That is how you create a blog post. Thanks for watching.